Example of a research collaboration that this came out of one of the knowledge exchange events that we hold. We hold monthly knowledge mobilization breakfast series. This is called KM in the AM. And the hallmarks of this is that the community always identifies the topic. So what's important to you? And we identify faculty and graduate students who will come and talk to community organizations. We also identify a community partner who's going to speak as well, because it's really important that the university and the community are placed on equal footing. And we got about 15 to 20 people in the room, and the presentations are interesting, but what's most important is the engagement around the table after the presentations, because we're looking here to make partnerships out of people who haven't met before. And at this meeting, which the first one we held in November 2006 was on mental health, we had Henny Wester from York University presenting with Mary Lynn Porto from the Canadian Mental Health Association. They hadn't met each other. They were just the two people presenting on mental health. What we find is our measure of success is when we close down the formal proceedings. If people are still stuck around an hour later having conversations, then we know that that's been a successful KM in the AM. What we do after the KM in the AM is everyone gets a follow-up phone call or a follow-up email a month or two later to find out who's still talking to whom. And then we can come in and support those relationships. And this was happening with Henny and Mary Lynn. Then we found an opportunity for them to apply for funding to the Canadian Institutes of Health Research and under the Institute for Neurosciences, Mental Health and Addiction. And now they've got $1.5 million and they're called Mobilizing Minds, Pathways to Young Adult Mental Health. And what's really important in this relationship is that not just do we have community partners, the Mental Health Association of York Region and Mood Disorders Canada, but we've got young adults who are actually on the grant application and who are part of all the project teams and the leadership teams. So some of these folks who are young adults or representing young adults are representing the voices. So we're using the consumers of the research upstage in not only developing the research protocols, but also in executing the research. And that's very important for knowledge mobilization, is the continued engagement of research users throughout the research cycle. So we're seeing an emerging trend in a lot of grant applications, CURAs, MCRIs, although they're going to be changing in the new SHIRT program architecture. But a lot of stuff that's coming out of the Mental Health Commission of Canada and also CIHR are requiring knowledge mobilization and knowledge translation strategies as part of the grant. So our unit, the Knowledge Mobilization Unit, is part of the team that helps all faculty members who are writing large-scale social science humanities grant applications to help them to help craft that part of the application that has to do with an effective knowledge mobilization strategy. And since we've been doing this for the last 3 or 4 years, the faculty that we've supported have brought in over $15 million of external grant funding. So it's a real, it's not all due to knowledge mobilization, it's mostly due to them, but it's been an extra support that our faculty find in crafting their grant applications. And then the last thing I want to talk about very quickly is the research snapshots. These are clear language summaries of completed research projects. And we've got a few of them at our booth. You can come by and pick them up. This is an example of a user push method where the university has some research results and we want to get it out into the hands of users. So we work with an adult literacy practitioner who is skilled in clear language writing, design, and principles. And he has trained us and the staff and also graduate students at the university to write in clear language. And what we do is we ask faculty members to send us their book chapters or their journal articles. We will draft in clear language, send them back, and we enter into a dialogue until we get to a point where the faculty member is comfortable with the expression of their work in this very short format. And then we post it. We've got 93 of these on the internet right now. And this is a headline. It's not a title of a paper. And if you like the headline, you can read it very quickly. Then you have a box, what you need to know. If you like that, then you can read the full two-pager, which is written in clear language with very answering specific questions. What is this research about? What did they do? What did they find? And how can you use this research? So this is a way of getting research out into the hands of non-academic decision makers. It also serves as a way as a calling card to faculty, because you shouldn't base one policy decision on one research study. But what this does is say there's some smart people at York who are doing something you might be interested in. Please call the Knowledge Mobilization Unit and we'll introduce you. So this is another way of introducing relationships and forming relationships through which knowledge can be mobilized. So what have we learned? Or what are we learning? That this is a combination of push, pull, exchange, and co-production. that is centered around the knowledge broker, which is really important. It's as the heart of the institutional capacity to support knowledge mobilization. It is not tech transfer for the social sciences and humanities. This isn't about making money out of research. This is about connecting researchers and graduate students to organizations outside of the academy. It's more than a website or a brochure. If all we needed to do was put up research snapshots and clear language summaries of research to get that in the hands of users, all we would need is the internet. And we're drowning with a lot of information up there. What we actually need is the people, the knowledge brokers, to facilitate the relationships. It takes resources, both money and time. We're learning how to evaluate the impact, sort of, but we don't really know, we know what some of the outputs of this are. We know what some of the outcomes are, but the impact takes time to evaluate, and we don't have a good handle on how to do that. And we don't also have a good sustainability model, because this isn't about making money. So we're not sure what this looks like in the long term for universities. But what it does, sorry, there's a slide that's not here, but what we are doing is we're sharing this knowledge. So we're mobilizing knowledge about knowledge mobilization, and we're now working with a group that we call Research Impact, which is Research Impact is 6 universities: Memorial, Université de Québec Montréal, York, Guelph, Saskatchewan, and UVic are all working together. We're at various different stages of developing institutional knowledge mobilization capacities, but we are working together to share best practices, to learn what works in different environments, so that ultimately what our vision is that all of our universities and colleges will have a capacity for knowledge mobilization the same way we right now have a capacity for technology transfer.